who is Dr. Rocks? Hi, welcome back everybody to Rockin' Dr. Rocks. So in this little video, I am going to give you a little information about me, things that I haven't talked about on here before, and give you a little bit of my background, and just because I think it's probably about time to do that. So my name is Larry Stetler, and I am a geological engineer, and for the past 24 years I have been teaching geology and geological engineering at South Dakota School of Mines and Technology in Rapid City, South Dakota, which is my hometown. So in many ways I have the best job possible. I was born and raised in Rapid City, spent my childhood growing up in the Black Hills running around, and as I've shown in one of the previous videos, I made a comment in there that when I grew up walking around I was always looking down. I was really interested in what was at my feet, and I didn't know why it was there and why it looked like it did. And that naturally led me into geology, from that I went into geological engineering. So, I grew up in Rapid City, went to school here in Rapid City, was in the middle of the 1972 June 9 flood on Rapid Creek here in Rapid City with my family, and we survived. One of the things that I will be doing in spring of 2022, which is the 50th anniversary of the June 9 72 flood, is I'm going to be putting together a series of videos, maybe 3 or 4, looking at the history of the flood. I want to do walkthroughs with the video through some of the watersheds, looking at important points along the watershed where water may have built up or poured through, or many homes were destroyed and people's lives were lost and those types of things. So be looking out for that in later in the spring. So after I graduated from high school, which I already had an interest in geology, I started, I got my first rock hammer in 1974 to have with me out in the Black Hills running around. Always had a hand lens or some type of a magnifying glass, and went to the School of Mines as a freshman student and entered into the geological engineering program, where I graduated from in 1979. My first job I started in August of 1979 in Williston, North Dakota with Schlumberger, and I was a field engineer. And at that time, the graduating class in 1979 that graduated the same time I did, the majority of those students ended up going to work in the petroleum industry. A lot of us had interest in hard rock mining, and that was my primary interest. I wanted to be a geologist engineer in a mine, and particularly here in the Black Hills. But those metal prices were depressed, and there was a hiring freeze and all kinds of issues with prices and wage freezes and things in 1979. And so the oil field was really hot in a boom time, and there were plenty of jobs, and so I went to work in the oil field. So I worked with Schlumberger for 8 years, starting out in Williston, North Dakota. A year and a half later, transferring down to Casper, Wyoming, which is, if I had my choice to go anywhere and live, it'd be Casper. Had some of the best times there, great outdoor activities, close to everything, fishing, hunting, on the river, in the mountains, desert right next by, dunes, everything. So ended up years later in '84 getting transferred out to Ventura, California, where I finished up my 8 years, and then came back to grad school at School of Mines here in Rapid City. Harleys. Okay, this is rally week, and so we get a lot of motorcycles going past here. So I ended up again, from Schlumberger in Ventura, which was great. Worked on land all up and down the coast of California into the San Joaquin Valley, Bakersfield area, a lot of work out there. Shallow holes, deep holes. Did most of my work offshore up in the North Slope in Alaska. And then finally gave that up in 1987, came back to Rapid City and entered a master's degree program in geological engineering, again at South Dakota School of Mines and Technology. And I focused on groundwater for that thesis. And my reasoning was that the equations that are used to look at petroleum and gas flow in an oil reservoir are virtually the same principles as looking at water flow through an aquifer. The primary difference is going to be pressures and viscosity of the fluids and things like that, which are just a variable in the equation. So it seemed like a natural fit. And in the engineering world and in geology, water and water resources for our population is a never-ending need. And so it's kind of like, if my true interests, if I couldn't find work in that, I could always go work for somebody somewhere doing water type things. And so that was my idea for my graduate degree, which I ended up completing in 1989. Got married in 1988 to Jeanette, and we're still together. In fact, we just celebrated our 33rd wedding anniversary just 4 days ago. So we're 33 years, still going strong. In fall of 1989, we loaded up everything we had in Harleys. We loaded up all of our belongings in a pickup and a U-Haul and moved to Pullman, Washington, and I entered the PhD program at Washington State University, where I spent 4 years as a PhD student and candidate and doing tremendous different number of research projects and things. And I really didn't have any pressing needs to be able to get done quick and get back to work. My wife was working, and you know, I had savings from the oil field, and so did a lot of interesting things in my graduate studies. Finally turned in a dissertation in 1993 and ended up getting a job with the United States Department of Agriculture with the Agricultural Research Service as a field engineer out on the Columbia Plateau in Washington State. Sometimes they'll come by in groups of 100 or more, and they just rumble by for 5 minutes. So hopefully we won't have that today. So I worked that job at the ARS for 4 years, and then a faculty position opened up back here at South Dakota School of Mines, which when I left here, it was the furthest expectation that I would ever end up back here in the Black Hills. And then let alone get a faculty position at my alma mater, where I received my bachelor's and master's degrees. But I've been there for 24 years now. You know, I'm full professor of geological engineering, and it's been a great ride. I have had the privilege to work with literally hundreds of very, very gifted and talented students who have graduated and gone off to places around the world doing great things. And that's the reward. It's grueling work at times. It's very fun in the fact that when I go into a course and teach a course, yes, there's a book and there's the general knowledge that one wants to deliver from a course, but little nuances and the way it's delivered, I can flavor it any way I want. So there's a lot of freedom in that, and it's a lot of fun. And then seeing the students get to those aha moments where you see they might be kind of questioning a technique or not understanding a certain principle, and all of a sudden it's something that's said or something they see in the field, and you see the light bulb come on, and it's like a whole nother person from that point forward. And I have seen that countless number of times over the last 24 years. So we're still going strong. It's been a great run. So I am going to put down, for those of you that are interested, I'm going to put down in the description some links to some websites where, if you're interested, you know, I'll put a link down there to my school website, which is pretty basic, just the basic information, you know, courses I teach and that type of thing. So a really stripped down version website, but I'll put a link to that. And then I'll put a link to some academic referencing sites that lists research publications and those types of things, like Microsoft Academic, and if you're able to get onto ResearchGate, all of my work is on ResearchGate, and so I've published widely in a wide variety of topics, from biology to geochemistry to engineering geology to rock mechanics to groundwater, surface water, all kinds of things. So again, if you go to one of those sites, if you're interested, you'll see references where you can, in many cases, actually download a copy of a paper if you so desire. So one of the things an academic paper is good for is, if you have a hard time getting to sleep at night, send me an email and I'll give you some ideas of some papers you can read, and I'll guarantee you'll be sawing logs within 10 minutes. So that's one of the great things about the papers. So short video, that's again who I am and what I am, and so I hope also as we go forward, with my students' permissions, I would like to get them involved in some of these videos, and particularly on laboratory field excursions that we go on, that I might go along and film how I present certain geologic principles to the students, and set up along an outcrop and let you listen in as I kind of give the students a little lecture. So if you've been watching this channel and you've been watching these videos, you might be wondering, well, why is he always talking like he's teaching something, or he's talking to people, instructing them? Well, that's why. That's what I do. It's very difficult for me to go out in the field without my full complement of gear, and it's very difficult to walk up to an outcrop and just go, oh, that's nice. I have to smell it and bang on it and look at it in a hand lens and test it and measure it and do all these things, because all of that information continually soaks in, and I've got kind of this big library database built up from experience running around the Black Hills, and so it's been a lot of fun. So that's why I do what I do. And again, if you have comments, please put a comment down below. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, watch the videos, share the videos, give it a thumbs up, and if you're really interested, turn notifications on. I typically, right now, I'm on a 2-a-week post, Monday mornings and Friday mornings. And then if something special or extra comes up, I'll pop in a little one maybe in the middle of the week. I think I've done that twice. So regularly scheduled, or you could use notifications, however you want to handle it. But thanks for watching. Please share these videos with others that you think might be interested in just looking at the beauty of the Black Hills in general, and then maybe learning a little bit about the history of the rocks. And I'm keeping it pretty basic, so again, if I'm using too many terms that aren't explained, put that in the comments below the videos, and I'll make an effort to explain that in future videos. So thanks for watching. I appreciate the support that those subscribers have given, the few comments that I have received. I appreciate that. See ya.